first, and I hope it won't be the last. But it's been here now for 35 years, which is really remarkable for any small theater company, much less one with such a specific focus, to survive and then thrive for 35 years. And I'm glad you're doing this story on that anniversary. So they're certainly the leading Latinx-focused theater company in Chicago, although they're not the only one. But there are several in Chicago, which I think is really an excellent thing and an important thing, considering Chicago has such a strong Latinx community, so a large and very productive one. So I think that it's serving them very well. When I did a little checkup on them because I haven't seen some of their work in a while, but I'm very pleased to notice that a lot of Columbia College, either faculty or alumni, have worked with them over the years, and are currently doing so. That's why I sent you that link to my blog. I do a blog for the theater department or the theater program, and I sent you a link to all the stories that I wrote about Teatro Vista in that blog, showing the Columbia College people who've been working with them on projects over the years. So maybe you can put in some mention of that. They have a very good relationship with our theater program and with our theater community.
Yeah. I did see the blog, and I'm trying to reach out to some of the alumni that were part of their productions and their
Yeah, certainly. Marvin and Brian Quijada, they're two brothers, and they're pretty important. Brian Quijada didn't go to Columbia, but he was inspired by his brother Marvin, who did go to Columbia. And Marvin did that show called, what was it called? Dream King, that Teatro Vista did a couple of years ago, and won a Jeff Award for it, which is Chicago's top Jeff Award. The Jeff Awards, which are Chicago's top theater award. And Brian was also very involved with them. So they've worked with very good people.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to ask you, why would you think the Teatro Vista has remained relevant for the past 35 years?
Well, that's a great question. And that's the most important question. Why have they done it? How have they done it? One thing that's important about them is that the man who founded them, Eddie Torres, he's no longer he's partly involved with them, but now he's starting up a new theater. 35 years later, he's taken over. How do I say this? He's not starting a new theater. Let me correct that. But he's stepped in as artistic director at Victory Gardens Theater. So one of the things that's very important about any nonprofit theater company, especially one that's focused on a specific ethnic or a cultural identity, so in this case, obviously Latino, is that they nurture talent that goes into the larger theater community that's not just identified as Latino. So Eddie Torres now is running Victory Gardens, which is a general population theater, a general interest theater. It's a funny thing because when you have a theater company Teatro Vista was created because there wasn't enough attention being given to the Latinx community in Chicago. There wasn't enough of a way for the Latinx community, the Latinx arts community in Chicago, to express their voice, their particular perspective on things. So they were founded for that, but they've also enriched the larger theater ecosystem in Chicago and actually nationally by nurturing talent who then go out and do other things, or by taking talent who have only been able to accomplish a certain level of success in general interest theater and giving them a higher profile, giving them a chance to express things that the larger theater community doesn't necessarily express much.
So
So they're part of the, they keep theater in general, and certainly a theater company like this, which has a specific cultural connection and a neighborhood connection in Humboldt Park, is they're constantly regenerating themselves. They're bringing people into the theater world or into the arts world who might not have had another avenue to it if there wasn't this theater company that existed. Maybe one of the best ways to think about it is just to say that there are people working now with Teatro Vista or who are seeing shows by Teatro Vista who were not born when Teatro Vista started.
And how has the landscape for Latino theater in Chicago changed over the past few decades?
Over the past few decades, largely in response to the success and durability of Teatro Vista, the Latinx theater community or ecosystem in Chicago has expanded. It has grown. And that's important because the cultural aspect of a community is essential to its success and its growth in other areas, politically and economically as well. The arts are not just something that we use to entertain ourselves when we want to get off the work, when we want to go home from work. The arts are a cultural expression that help build a community's sense of identity and its sense of confidence in itself. And I think that that's something that Teatro Vista has accomplished greatly. I can tell you also, I mean, there are other theater companies that are Latinx identified. The first one that I remember was a company that no longer exists called, oh my God, what was it called? Latino Chicago Theater Company. Founded and run by a friend of mine, although he died a few years ago. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. I'm sorry. He was a good friend of mine too. But when Latino Chicago Theater Company, let me just look them up really quick here. Chicago. I'm sorry. Let me call you right back.
Okay, of course.
I'll be right back.
Yep, of course.
I know, I'm sorry. My phone dropped. I just sent you an article. His name is Juan Ramirez. He died a couple of years ago. He was the founder and the artistic director of a company called Latino Chicago Theater, which was based in Wicker Park back in the early 80s. And their company lasted for a few years. So I think that was the first really important Latino theater company in Chicago, specifically Latino focused. There have been others since then. There's one called Teatro Luna. There was one called Teatro Luna. And there have been several others. Aguijon Theater Company, do you know about them?
Yeah.
So there have been others, but they haven't achieved the success of the prominence, I guess, that Teatro Vista has. But it's part of a movement. I think that's important to recognize. That Teatro Vista is not just unto itself, right? It is part of a movement of Chicago-based Latino theater artists who are trying to express the Latino vision and to push it forward into new areas. And it's not when I say the Latino theater experience or the Latino community, even, we have to remember that this is a very multifaceted, complex, and there's different perspectives within the community. So that has to be expressed through the culture as well. It's not just somebody following the same old, same old.
Yeah. And another question that I have, I had it over here, is that do you see Teatro Vista primarily as a destination for Latino artists or as a launching pad into the broader theater industry?
Great question. I think it's ultimately a launching pad. But when we talk about launching pads, we're not necessarily just talking about like somebody gets a job and they go to Hollywood, right? Or they get a TV show or something like that.
Yeah.
They can be a launching pad to other theaters in Chicago. There's no theater company that's only a place. It's not a destination. No theater company is a destination. All theater companies are launching pads, even if they're just launching pads to people pursuing new careers, whether they even stay in the arts or not. They might become teachers, or they might become politicians.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's nobody's going to go to Latino Chicago. I'm sorry, nobody's going to go to Teatro Vista and just stay there the rest of their lives. They're going to work elsewhere as well. So I was looking at the list of their board members and their artistic team, and these are people who work at or with Teatro Vista, but they also work elsewhere. They do other things. They do television, they do film, they do New York theater, they do international theater, but then they always have that root in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I have just one last question for you.
Sure.
And how do you think Teatro Vista helps introduce Latino stories to audiences who may not be familiar with them?
Well, if they do the shows, and if people come to the shows,
Yeah.
then they're being introduced to those stories. But I think that the important part about that question is that it's no theater company can succeed if it's just because they have a hit show.
Mm-hmm.
They have one particular show that succeeds. They have to have an ongoing identity. They have to be something that the community supports, even if the show doesn't always work, even if the show is successful, or sometimes another show might not be so successful. It requires constant ongoing support from the community to keep supporting that theater company, even if they didn't like everything they did, or even if they didn't get to see everything that they did.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that those all will be all my questions.
Did you? Okay, great. Now, why did you choose this story? Were you assigned it, or did you choose it?
I personally choose it because I remember that in your class, another student did a presentation about another theater company that was Aguijón.
Aguijón, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
And I was looking for. I was looking to try to do the article about that company, but I couldn't really reach them out. So I also found like Teatro Vista, who was very important here in Chicago, and also found some information about Eddie Torres. So I thought that
Good.
maybe I could write some for them.
Well, it's good timing because Teatro Vista is marking its 35th anniversary.
Yeah, that's right.
And then also Eddie is now taking over Victory Gardens Theater. So that's going to be another, you talk about sharing stories. He's now taking his artistry into a theater company that has a larger identity than it's not just Latino. It's what we would call general interest.
Yeah.
It includes Latino, but it's not only Latino. And I think so it's good timing for the story. It's very good timing for your story. Did you talk to Dr. Noriega, like I mentioned?
I mailed him. I'm waiting for his response, and I'm looking
Good.
if I could talk to him maybe also in a phone call or something.
He would be great. It occurs to me. Just give me a second here.
Hmm.
He there is something coming up with Teatro Vista and Dr. Noriega. Let me just see here.
I know that they're producing a musical, but I don't know.
Yeah, Mexodus.
Yeah, that's
Right. Let me see this here. Mexodus. Okay, right. So Mexodus is written and performed by two men, one of whom is Brian Quijada. And Brian did not go to Columbia, but his brother Marvin did, and his brother Marvin is also a theater artist. And Brian always said that Marvin was an inspiration to him, and was really the reason he got involved in theater too. And they're coming here in the fall to perform at the Studebaker Theater, where we went to visit, right?
Yeah.
At the Fine Arts Building.
Hmm.
So when I got the press release about that, I contacted Dr. Noriega, and he said that they're going to be doing other events related to it or connected to it. Maybe bringing the students to see a performance, or maybe bringing the students to watch a rehearsal. So it would be, I don't know when Dr. Noriega will be back in the office, because right now a lot of faculty are sort of on vacation because their contract starts August 15th.
Hmm.
So some of these people are waiting, trying to get the last bit of vacation time they can, right?
Yeah.
For the next week or so. So I don't know what your deadline is, but it would be really helpful for your story if you could wait until you connected with Dr. Noriega,
Yeah.
whose email I gave you, because I think he would like to talk about this. You got the press release about Mexodus?
No, I don't.
I'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
I'll forward it to you.
Thank you.
That was what caught my attention, is that this is a great example. The Studebaker Theater is a big downtown theater. I mean, we went to visit it. And they're doing their show, they're producing this show in collaboration with Teatro Vista. So that it's a show that's going to attract a lot of attention to people who might not necessarily follow Latino theater. But they'll hear about this because it's a great title, right? Mexodus. And it's very timely, given, of course, all the horrible shit that's going on with politically, right? So, I mean, it couldn't be more timely. So I'm really glad you're doing this story, and I hope that you get a chance to get Dr. Noriega's input into your story. I think he'll give you a lot of background that I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to talk to him, especially if.
So you send him an email, right?
Yep, I sent him an email.
Are you on Facebook?
On Facebook, I'm not very active, but yes, I do have Facebook.
Well, if you go on Facebook, you could also send them a message on Facebook, because sometimes when people are on, they respond to that before they respond to email.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look them up on email, on Facebook.
Okay, let me.
Facebook's a very good way to communicate with people. I mean, it's crazy for other reasons, right? But it's a very good way to reach people.
I'm actually looking for him right now. And yep, there he is. I'm gonna send him a.
Yeah, send him a message. You can tell him I recommended you talk to him, referred you, and he may see that before he sees his email. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. As I say, I don't know right now. He's very busy, but I also know that he would like to have some input onto a story about this. He's very excited about it.
That would be great if I can get like an interview with him also. So
yeah, it would be terrific.
Thank you very much for
Sure.
And yeah, well, I think those are all my questions.